Hello, this is DJ Nocturna, and welcome to Interview with DJ Nocturna. I'm speaking with Chicago's multi-instrumentalist, Rev Billy Simmons, and his project called Evidence of a Struggle. So welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Shauna always has all these amazing, talented musicians, and you're not just a musician, but you're also, I guess, a promoter. You do all these. You're also you have a specific hair salon place as well in Chicago, which is
Yeah, we,
yeah. So before I go there, I know you also have an album. Was it's gonna it was released yesterday, right?
correct. Yep.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Wow. June 9th. And I know that album has 13 tracks. And but before we go there, I know there's so many things. I know you're a multi-instrumentalist. So I was just looking at all the instruments you play and while listening to your music. I know you play the guitar, the drums, the piano, the synth, and the violin. And I think you also play there's another instrument. Clarinet?
Yeah, that was the first instrument I ever played. Yeah, it was first instrument was a piano, but clarinet was the one my father got for me that like he insisted I play.
Oh yeah. So how did that all started with your music? With your love for music. Because I know you have people that love music are just there's always a beginning to everything, right? How people start out.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I started my aunt had a piano at her house and when I was really little. They let me on it to just kind of play and I did and I had to drive them crazy, I think, but but they let me do it. So that, continued on, still goes on today, I guess.
Yeah, and I was reading your press release about your sisters collecting these albums and kind of influence you a little bit with the music, with the family music history thing, appreciation for music. Was that
Yeah,
vinyl?
yeah, I think so. I mean, I think originally they would give me all of the music that they didn't want to listen to or that they thought was garbage. Um, so I got the weird stuff, I guess. I think I got like Yes was a big one. Can was another one. Tangerine Dream. Then it would be like Steely Dan. Like
Oh,
anything they didn't want, like I would wind up getting ELO.
oh
There
yeah.
were
Oh,
lots of things.
but those are good. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
amazing.
I think so too. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. I think
yeah,
they are just pretty fantastic thing. Yeah.
yeah. I can relate to that because I have older siblings, and they back in the day, right? They bought vinyl. I mean, that was the only thing besides cassette tape and eight tracks, right? And
Yeah.
I that's how we all learn. We learn from these albums, and we would play them. You know how you know how they have the old system where you pick up the thing, the needle, and you put it down, and you play the entire song to the end, and then when you get to the very end, it just you know.
Yeah, well, playing the whole record was a thing. Like, and those records, the double albums, like I would set like the whole Yes album was like the Earth with that ship that was going around. It was nuts. I mean, it was a whole other thing that you would get into and try and imagine, like I would anyway. And I think a lot of my friends would just listen and try and imagine what this band was like thinking about or talking about just from how the album looked. I don't think that exists much anymore, which
Yeah, I know it's kind of different now. I mean, people still have records, but I don't know if they play the whole entire album like they did back in the day. I did for sure. That's how I knew every single song.
yeah,
People now they just skip through it, or they it doesn't come. A lot of them are digital, right? But I
yeah.
remember the vinyl. It was like you knew, like I knew which side was which side. You just knew these things, right? So I guess we were fortunate because we listened to that.
Yeah,
And,
and I like that vinyl's kind of making a resurgence too.
oh yeah, yeah.
I
I
think
remember
that's
that. I remember there was a time, maybe in the 90s, when vinyl was kind of it was different. They were selling all these old vinyls. People would just resell them, and they were cheaper. And then I there was that period of time, and so I purchased so much, just now it's not the same price. You can't get anything. I mean, everything now just went up. So I'm kind of blessed for that one. So glad. So, what kind of music were you influenced by in terms of the genre? Because your music is wonderful.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, a lot of stuff. I think when I was playing clarinet, that like introduced me to a lot of more classical based stuff, and then jazz stuff
Mhm.
as well. As also my parents were much older, so I think they came from a generation that was listening to the beginnings of jazz or kind
Mm,
of, Charlie Christian,
mm,
people that would play in big band sort of thing. So I think it was kind of interesting to like be able to, have that exposure to those kinds of music. And then, with my sisters and the stuff they had and my friends, parents, other musicians, it's just like getting like really deep into jazz or weird synth stuff
yeah.
that was happening. And then you go down another like rabbit hole or another river into something else that so it was ever and still is ever expanding, I think.
So, were you guys at the time living in Chicago as well? You grew up in Chicago?
Uh, no, I was born in Wichita, Kansas, and then we moved around a lot when I was a kid. My
Oh,
father was in the military,
mm,
and then he worked for Boeing, was president of the board
oh,
of a hospital, did a whole bunch of stuff. Uh, we moved around a lot, and I think they were also traveling for business, so I would live with like family in other places. So Wheaton, Chicago, we lived in Hawaii for a little bit.
oh, you did? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, like how long ago was that?
Oh God, 1982.
Oh, wow. So you actually,
It was a long time ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you were here during the punk movement when the
Yeah, I guess,
punk,
and probably too young to experience it, really.
yeah, we had our own scene here. Yeah. Wow. Were you here a long time?
Not very long at all. No, just a few months.
Honolulu?
No, we were on Kauai.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's different. Yeah, there were a lot of chickens there. I don't know if you remember, there's like one road full of chickens. I mean, there's chickens, everywhere.
I
Kauai.
don't- I remember like a little like a Farrell's ice cream shop in like one part of it, and then there were
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah.
other parts where the highway didn't go through and going up into the mountains there. It was just so beautiful.
Yeah, really peaceful place. Yeah, I do know that you studied music as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of like your background, right? You had training in music.
Yeah, I mean, I tried. I don't know if any of it took, but
Oh yeah, it looks like
I,
it. It looks like it did.
I gave it a whirl a little bit. Yeah, you know, it was fun stuff.
Yeah. So now you have this project, I guess we call it evidence of a struggle. And I like that. Yeah, tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, one of professor at school said, if any good art, anything that's really good, I mean, you can see some evidence of a struggle in it, or you can hear some evidence of a struggle. And that's why I thought, it was a good name for this.
It's kind of reminds me of a little bit like transformative, kind of deep, evidence, right? So you're kind of analyzing something, kind of analysis of something really deep. I mean, I like it.
Yeah, I don't know how deep it is, but it's definitely analysis. And I mean, it's a lot of I mean, there's a lot of stuff to pay attention to that like is going on in our world these days and has been going on in it, which is what like a lot of the records about, I think. And
Yeah.
that's like part of the struggle component.
Yeah. So this album, the title of the album, I know it's out already. Can you tell a little bit about that? I know you released singles. I think you released three
Yeah,
before.
I think there was a Doa, Alan Song, and Biscuit
Yeah.
was it, those are the three, and then we've got three more coming out this week.
Oh,
There are a total of six animations by an artist named John Arrow.
Yeah,
who's
yeah.
from Chicago as well, who does some pretty amazing artwork. And we're already working on the videos for the next record.
Oh, there's a
So
next record. Oh, okay.
I'm actually in the studio right now at Hypercube, which is Sanford Parker's studio in Chicago, and we've been tracking today for a couple of songs for the new records, almost done already.
So this particular record, the full album is out, right? It's called Evidence of a Struggle.
Correct. Yes.
And that's out. And that has like, I think it's like 13, is it 13? No, 13 tracks.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a whole new album again, right?
Well, yes, I am.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Also with 13 tracks on it.
And now I know you mentioned that there's a video, and I did watch it. If people want to see it, it's on your YouTube channel. It's a very interesting video. Tell us a little bit about the. I know it's an audio visual storybook by John Arrow.
Hmm.
So how did you collaborate with him? How did that come about? Because yeah, it's interesting. I mean, if people want to check that out. I always love animation. Yeah, it tells a story for sure.
Well, he's an artist too, so I didn't want to tell him what to do, but we've known each other for, 30 over 30 years, I think. And I don't know that he'd ever really listened to a lot of the music that I'd been involved with or any of the bands that I'd played with, maybe in passing, but um on a I guess a lark, I decided that I'd seen some of his animations and he had shown at our gallery space, and I kind of wanted to see if he would consider doing some animations. And he really liked the music. I sent him a couple of songs and he dug it. So he wanted to write stuff and he asked what I wanted, and I said that I wanted him to do what he felt like he needed to do
Okay.
for the
You,
songs.
you kind of gave him the freedom to do what kind of sinks in. It sinks in with your music.
Yeah, I mean, whatever was in his head. That's his art, not mine. And somehow it matches, and that's serendipity, I think.
Yeah, and so Alan's song is one of them, right? That the video that he made a video animation on that Alan song. And what was the other one? Is it I can't pronounce it. Duo. Is it that
Doa,
Doa? Okay. What is Doa?
it's a meditation.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so that's what that is.
Wow. Interesting. Yeah, I mean the tracks are amazing. And I know that I mean people just gotta listen and then they can pretty much interpret it their way, right? I know you
Yeah, I hope so.
yeah, because I know you want to keep everybody just to interpret it the way they want to interpret it.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I mean, I think everyone experiences art differently. I mean, it's objective and then subjective when you get a hold of it. I mean, you decide how you want to interpret what you're hearing. I mean, that is with anything. I mean, I've made something, and John's helped to make something. Sanford, Matt, anyone that's involved with a project is like to help create this objective thing that when you get a hold of it, you turn it into a subjective situation in your own head, I think.
So this album is produced by Sanford Parker. Can you tell us a little bit about that collaboration?
Yeah, I mean, friend in another band, the Huntsman, was in the hair salon getting his haircut, Mark Stranger Najar, and he was like, I was talking about stuff I was working on, and he'd heard a little bit of it, and he was like, why don't you go to Sanford and have Sanford do it? I was like, you know, probably because you guys are in bigger bands and I'm not a bigger band. So that's why I guess I don't. He's like, no, man, I think you guys it'd work good. I was like, well, why don't you do an email invite and we'll see what happens with that. And so I think Mark finally sent an email invite and Sanford and I started talking. I sent him some tracks and I think he liked them. Um, I mean, I think he's really busy, so he can pick and choose. So I feel really lucky that like I'm able to work with him, I think.
Is he from Chicago as well? He lives there?
He lives in Chicago now, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So now I know you besides music, you also have what's called a salon or a barber. What is the right word?
Yeah,
I
hair salon.
a
Yeah,
hair
we're not a
salon.
barber shop. We're a hair salon, yeah.
Oh. So it's called Rev Billy's Chop Shop,
Yep.
and people want to. It's really it's interesting. I mean, I went to the site,
Thank
and
you.
I mean you
Yeah.
got everything going on there. I mean you have drinks available, so if people want to get their hair cut, they can get some nice martini or stuff like that, right?
Yeah, we're not selling drinks, but if they're there, they can have a drink.
Oh yeah.
There are
So,
odd legalities with stuff, but yeah, but we're not a bar. We're strictly a hair salon, but we'll give people a little beer if they want one.
yeah, because I was looking at the salon. I actually have it open here and on a little thing here. I know you have all these different services, extensions, you've got hair coloring, you've got and they're vegan and gluten-free friendly
Yep.
items.
Yep.
And also it's a gender-free transformative hair, which I really like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um
we do inclusive, which is
yeah.
nice.
And the haircuts, I didn't even realize that they have all of these things available. I didn't know. They got chin length and up, chin, I guess beard, right? What do
We
I
do
know
beard
about hair?
trims as well. Yeah.
I mean, I get my hair cut um quite often, but I don't have to do any beards or anything like that.
That that's good
Yeah.
because they're kind of a hassle. I just braid mine.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, this is awesome. So you also have artwork, right?
Mm.
You
Yeah, we're a
take on the
functional
second.
gallery as well.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So
So we rotate artists bi-monthly.
So how did you start out this business? Like
Uh, I was cutting hair because when I was originally playing with some bands when I was younger, and then that kind of fell through. Major labels are weird, and I needed to find something else to do, so my sister suggested hair,
uh
and I did that. And so it's led me to owning our own salon, and it's really helped um keep me playing music too and active in it.
yeah, and it's actually Chicago readers declare this to be the city's best gallery in 2019. So
Yeah, we're really
anybody,
fortunate.
yeah, so people want to check that out. What's
Yeah.
that? Yes.
Yeah.
Where are you guys located?
We're at the corner, basically on the corner, 2424 West Montrose Avenue in Chicago. It's the corner of Montrose and Western, basically.
Oh. I mean, if I was there, I would go get a haircut there. I don't live in
Well, yeah,
Chicago.
we'd love to have you.
Yeah,
That
I
would
know.
be
I mean, I always like to explore different places, and I from what I could see here, it's also an art space,
yes.
and you've got some interesting T-shirts, and I mean, you've got products that people want to purchase, like stuff, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and you have a really cool mug or glass, pretty cool.
We do. Thank you. Thank you.
And I love the what do you call the sign outside the window. And I love the ceiling. Is that a painting?
Yeah, that's John Arrow, the guy that did the
Oh,
animations for the record, also did that painting on the ceiling of the Chicago flag.
oh, it's a painting. I was wondering what it was. I can't tell. I thought it was some kind of um it kind of moved away right now, but yeah, it looked kind of dreamy, kind of images. It's cool.
And the
Starfish.
Chicago flag. Yeah, we dig it.
Yeah. So do you have events there? Do you guys play there as well?
We don't do music. There are apartments above it, so it's kind of challenging for us to do that. But we do have openings in the art gallery. So bi-monthly we'll have openings for the artists that are showing there.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. Well, thank you for giving the artist the opportunity to showcase their work.
Yeah,
Get
we like
in that
to.
space. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's artists helping other artists, which is always a good thing.
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
So this album, which is released, has 13 tracks. And if anybody wants to check it out, it's on your Bandcamp page, Evidence of a Struggle.
Correct?
Evidence
Yeah.
of a Struggle.
And
And your album, was that also from the same guy who did the album cover?
yeah, John Arrow. Yep, he's
Oh
doing
yeah.
all the visuals for it. Yes, absolutely.
Wow, that's so cool.
And it's also available, I think the record's available on like everywhere, like Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, anywhere that you get music, I think you can get the record.
Yeah. So, do you want to say a little bit about the new work that you're doing right now?
Um, yeah, I mean, it's I hopefully it sounds similar. It's, I'm not playing everything on it this time. Matt Walker is playing drums. Salt Walker is playing bass. On some of the songs, Berlin, I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly, is playing bass on some other songs. Sanford Parker's producing it still. Matt Walker's producing parts of it. Um, I'm still doing guitar, some synth stuff. Matt's adding some synths. And there are more vocals on this one because people
Uh-huh.
kept asking
Yeah, I was gonna ask that same thing.
vocals.
I mean,
So
I can totally. Will you be singing?
I am, yeah.
Okay, cool. But on this track, the one that you just released, there's no vocals, right?
No, there's vocals on one song on the record, and that's Keep It.
Oh yeah, keep it. Yeah. Okay, that's so cool. All right. Yeah. So when do you anticipate that next album will be coming out?
We'll see how this one does and what happens with interest for it. And then, I mean, I'll hopefully be done with it by the beginning of the fall.
Is there a theme for this one?
Um, I don't know, the same theme as the other one, I guess. Um, but maybe more words for people to attach to that couldn't understand what the other one was trying to say. I mean, there's a lot going on in our world right now, so I mean, it's about that. It's
Mm,
so you can interpret that how you want to, but I think similar subject matter.
yeah. So this last album, the debut album, did that? I know you wrote that during the pandemic times, right?
Mhm.
Around that
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's okay. So this one is a little different, or right? A little different. I mean, it's not the different theme, I guess. Different in some ways.
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
I
the
think
same.
it's
Oh,
a
okay.
similar thing. I mean, I have to watch my language on here, but the world
Oh,
that we live in is kind of jacked up,
right, right.
not getting any less jacked up.
Yeah,
And people still aren't paying attention to how jacked up it is. And it's really unfortunate that more people aren't talking about how jacked it up and trying to do something about it. I mean, so hopefully, like, this will inspire some people to go and change things a little bit.
yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to the new album when it comes out, and hearing more of this one.
Thank you.
You know? And
Thanks.
congratulations on this album, your debut album, and it's called Evidence of a Struggle, from Evidence of a Struggle and Rev Billy Simmons. Yeah. Well, yeah, thank you so much for coming on the show. And
Appreciate the opportunity. It's
yeah,
great.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, and if I ever go to Chicago, I'll be sure to get my hair cut there.
Yeah.
No, I'll find it. No, seriously, I would go. Yeah, it's good to explore, right?
Yep, definitely.
And you have quite a crew,
We do. Yep.
and it's good because you have a website. A lot of places don't have pictures of their artists, or their hair specialists, however you want to say.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're artists for sure.
yeah, yeah. So that's really good. Yeah, and I know you take a lot of time with your things. You're very meticulous with things, which is really good. And you help the artists because you're an artist as well. So great.
We try to do what we can, definitely.
Yeah, it's all about service, right? To the community and to the
I,
arts. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining me, Reverend Billy Simmons.
Thank you.
Evidence of a Struggle. If you're watching on my YouTube channel, please like, subscribe, and share. All right. Let me
Thank
turn this
you.
off. Let me turn this off. Thank you. Thank you for coming on the show.